Hello and welcome back to another episode of the How Long to Beat podcast, a podcast made by members of the community for members of the community. My name is Matt, and I'm with my friends. Who is first? Leah. Sorry.
Hello.
Matt, I'm gonna say you can introduce people in any order. Nobody has a gun to your head.
No. We have a set alphabetically. I mean, not if I start. Whatever. And I'm with Roy. Please say hello as well.
It's me, Frozen Raw.
Dear listener, as you can see, we are a bit goofing off today. We are all suffering under the sun's oppression in the sky. We are sweating and barely thinking today, so please excuse some stumbling and slipping off the words today. Also, if I fall out of connection because my internet's hiccuping today as well, if it wasn't already bad enough, listener, you know what's up. Co-hosts, just keep going. It doesn't matter.
I wonder if part of the reason it's hiccupy is because it's just so fucking hot.
It might be. It very well might be, honestly. I see my
Make sure your
router
shit don't
already
overheat.
struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are here today to talk about video games as usual, and we have a special topic for our discussion part of the episode where we will be talking about real life locations in video games, specifically looking at locations that we might have visited in real life and witnessed in a video game. In the one order, like video game first, real life after, or maybe the other way around. Who knows? Maybe even talk about some locations we've seen in video games and then wanted, or maybe even did visit in real life because of it, like that sort of thing. That's what we're going to be talking about later.
I can't believe that we made a discussion topic that requires us to touch grass.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked, especially in this weather. Not ideal.
Right?
And as always, we will be finishing with a hot and sweaty round of the Untitled collection game. But for
Why would you say it like
because it is the truth. I think it is fair to say today in this late June heat.
that's true?
But for now, let us talk about the games that we've beaten, retired, and keep playing lately. What have y'all been beating?
Unfortunately for me, the last 2 weeks or so have been a combination of being very busy with certain things, and when I haven't been busy, I've had some other hobbies and other stuff I've gone to that I had on the back burner. So I have not been anything this go around.
Too busy trying to dodge them heat rays from outer space. I get it.
Yeah, I have two. The first one is Lost but Found. Kind of a new genre game where it's like a cozy game, but also a job simulator game. So everything's kind of like pastel, sort of like soft colors to it, but you're basically a lost and found at an airport.
Oh.
So I thought that there was an ending to this because I looked on How Long to Beat and it said that you can beat it in 3 hours. Play for like an hour and a half. There's no story to this. I like looked it up online and it was basically just like it's an achievement hunter game sort of a thing. So it's a good podcast game. It's a good like doing something in the background while your attention is actually focused somewhere else. But beyond that, there was not really much to it for me. So basically I just listened to like one of the Murderbot books while I was playing it. So there was that. And my second one is Miniatures, which is this really like funky, quirky, short indie game about 4 separate stories, or like little vignettes that they take you through. One is like about the moon. One is like this kid is putting together a terrarium for his house, and you gotta like walk around the house. It's kind of the point and click game. Feels like it probably is on itch, and it feels like that sort of a thing. It was like an hour to beat or something like that. At times it kind of felt like it was just a storybook that I was just clicking through and not much
yeah.
like gameplay itself. So I kind of wish that there was more actual things to do instead of just like click and find out what it does. So, I was kind of waiting for like real gameplay that never actually really happened, but it was cute, it was quirky and weird, so I enjoyed that one.
That sounded like Freddy Fish or Pajama Sam kind of shit.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, they should make those for adults. That would be fun, I guess. I'm sure it's a market.
Yeah, no, it was a short one, so it wasn't too grueling.
Right,
Like
yeah.
if you asked me to play something like that and it was like 5 hours, 6 hours, well, I'm not doing this for that
Yeah.
long. But like an hour and a half, I can do that. That's fine.
Yeah, I could see
So
that
yeah,
too.
that's what I've beaten.
Well, I got a bunch of random shit as usual, and also I'm bringing back the chickens, the crazy chickens that I keep rambling about in these previous
Gonna be a lot of
episodes.
chickens in this.
We are a bird-based video game platform, so this just tracks.
We are. Is that like the official category that we're in?
Category
Goddamn.
categories: birds, North Korea, bathroom.
Yeah. And German law. Spotify
Yeah,
has
sure.
categorized one of our previous episodes in the German law category, which is hilarious to me.
That actually is completely true.
Yeah, true facts. But yeah, I've played more Moorhuhn games. The quick one sentence recap is that the Moorhuhn franchise, internationally known as Crazy Chicken, is a decades-old series of mostly shovelware games in all sorts of genres, originally based on an advert game advertising whiskey in German pubs. It's huge over here. And I've been doing these deep dives, and I've beaten a couple more Moorhuhn games, two of which I'm gonna be talking here that I've already mentioned in the previous episode. Moorhuhn 2 and 3 I've both mentioned recently, but I've spent more time with these and found more miraculous secrets in these bird shooting games. I've previously mentioned that Moorhuhn 3 has become like my favorite in the series so far because they're truly, from my point of view, evolved the simple Duck Hunt-esque shooting gallery to a very varied and surprisingly complex secret hunt where you truly had a lot of freedom to like figure out different strategies to get a good score and whatnot, which made it really, really fun with really, really interesting ideas. I'm for the listeners at home, I am wearing a bootleg Moorhuhn 3 shirt right now. That's how big of a fan I am. And I have the official Moorhuhn strategy guide with me in grabbing distance. So this game truly did get me. The new stuff that I have to tell is that with Moorhuhn 3, I was already hyping this up last time, and I was talking about like getting a high score, I guess, and like figuring out a couple secrets and whatnot. And I think that was it. So now I have the official guide. I have read through that, which also has like genuine background information of like the people back in 2000 developing this shovelware game and whatnot, which is incredible. But also, I've managed to perfect my strategy, and with much training and intellectual uh, walking and honing in on that strategy, I have managed to actually reach the first spot of the pre-filled scoreboard in Moorhuhn 3, and that was not too easy. It seems like the difficulty when it comes to the scoreboards in the Moorhuhn games, they are like all over the place. Some are like basically freebies, but this one has an actual difficulty to it to crawl up to the number one spot. But I did it. I threw Frank, since we're in Germany, off the number one spot, and I shouted at the screen and told him to fuck off. So that was a big gamer moment. Huge fan of that. And the biggest thing that I cannot forget about Moorhuhn 3 is that I read online that there's a secret mini game that you can find that is Tetris with these chickens. And I didn't believe it, but it is true. It does work. If you shoot all the letters in the main menu screen of the game's title, you do get it's called Mortris, which is Tetris with more hoons. And it's awful to look at because these models do not work well as Tetris blocks. But I mean, Tetris with more hoons is like, it doesn't get much better than that in my book. So that Moorhuhn 3, still peak of the crazy chickens, still the peak of the German gaming industry right here. But I also went back to Moorhuhn 2, which last time I talked about this kind of like put off as a meh not as interesting, kind of flat predecessor of the great Moorhuhn 3. That one was definitely before they truly like filled these games with all these secrets and strategy opportunities. But I did give it more time reading up about it afterwards as well. And it does look like like it isn't as complex as Moorhuhn 3, but there is more secret stuff to figure out than I first thought. As Diallo coined in a recent episode, there is more than meets the Huhn, even with Moorhuhn 2, this truly early game in the series. And that actually kind of it was another eye opener, another like newfound appreciation for a game that I thought was not that great, but it's actually like, okay, I gotta give these Moorhuhn games like more time to breathe because it does seem worth it every time. Even again, this is not as complex, but it was still fun to figure out the things in here. Have a little high score hunt with a local friend of mine, getting on the first place of the leaderboard, of course. And that was nice. There's one chicken in Moorhuhn 2 that is
Huhn to rule them all.
that is like hiding behind a tree stump and only occasionally poking out, and it seems to genuinely not be shootable. It seems to genuinely just be there to taunt you. And it's funny, I mentioned this because the next game, the next Moorhuhn game, which is called Moorhuhn Winter Edition, is basically a direct sequel to Moorhuhn 2 in that it uses the same environment, but of course, seasonal change. It's now snowy and all that stuff. And the chicken behind the tree stump that you couldn't shoot in Moorhuhn 2 is now frozen, and you can just kill it, which was a fun little gag, I thought, which was surely intentional, like the payoff to the set setup with the troll Huhn, basically. It was pretty cool. What's weird about that game, though, is that shooting that frozen chicken that you cannot miss, you literally can't miss, gives you enough points on its own to get on the number 1 ranking of the scoreboard, which is insane. It's stupid. Like, the entire scoreboard is pointless when it comes to pre-filled scores. You are immediately the best when it comes to the sort of NPC players or whatever. So there was no challenge with that. But again, exploring this new winter version environment, which genuinely did add a lot more like different secrets and whatnot, was very, very interesting. I'm continually impressed what these developers did with the basic duck hunt premise and really like fleshing it out with all these secrets and whatnot. I think growing up, I truly just considered games basic high score hunting shooters, and really learning about all of these secrets makes them completely different games. And I much more than ever before understand now why these games were so popular in Germany. They honestly truly are kind of worth respecting. And Moorhuhn Winter Edition, while this one does not have a secret Tetris thing, it does have a boss mode button. And with the boss, they genuinely mean your employer, because you can press the B button and it just shows like a screenshot of like an Excel sheet or whatever to hide the game. I love these sort of things from, I think, mostly early video games where you can like hide this game while you're playing it at the office. It wouldn't, of course, work in a modern office, considering that the screenshot crunchy as heck and not a modern system, modern software. But it does let you change the screenshot that pops up, which is very clever. I want more developers to do shit like this. Don't give me more graphics or microtransactions and RPG mechanics. Give me the boss button that just hides the game from my boss at the office. That's a good video game feature that we have lost with time.
Yeah.
The world has lost its joy.
For real. After these 3 classic style Moorhuhn shooter games, I looked at some more spin-off stuff with Moorhuhns. Specifically, there's this game called Moorhuhn, das verbotene Schloss, internationally known as Crazy Chicken Tales, which, from what I understand, is originally a Nintendo Wii game that was ported to PC later on. Which it shows it's a Crash Bandicoot style platformer, but the controls are weird. You do control the character with WASD, and you have the mouse to control a shooting mechanic, which would make more sense with a Wiimote. At least it's noticeable that it's where that came from with the Wiimote controls. But I do like that they managed to implement the shooting mechanic from the original shooter games into one of the spin-off ones, even if it's a more or less dull Crash Bandicoot knockoff. What kind of drew me to this one though is that it's sort of also the Avengers of Moorhuhn games, because this one I've previously mentioned that the Moorhuhn people had a couple of like animal mascots with their own different games, and this one kind of puts them all together in one bowl where you are controlling the Moorhuhn, but you have special stages where you are sitting on the back of the Moor Frosch, which is a frog with its own abilities, and the Moor. No, I think the other one is just called Kröt, which is a tortoise or turtle. I think it's a turtle, which gives you basically like a surfing mechanic as you ride it over like waterfalls and whatnot. Like that sort of thing. It's a neat concept, but yeah, the game, of course, is like a budget thing that doesn't like truly hold up to any expectation. It's not something to remember. Can all be winners. And I also, in an attempt to play like the other non-Moorhuhn creature games from these people, which are much harder to find than the big Moorhuhn ones, because none of them were as popular as Moorhuhn. I did manage to find and play Moor Frosch, the one with the frog, which is, to be fair, just a variant of Frogger with some added mechanics, but it's, as that, being that, it does it decently well to be a fun Frogger game, if that is what you're looking for. I do want to give a shout out to the fact that one of the enemy types is a French food truck that when it gets you genuinely cooks you up into frog legs, and that was kind of funny.
That is funny, actually.
That is good old classic German humor right there, I think. But yeah, that is Moor Frosch. And that is all of my Moorhuhn adjacent bullshit. I got one more German specialty game though, and this is it's kind of weird to even talk about in an English language media, but also kind of fun. So everybody loves to rant on like the U.S. government. We're getting into the political hour of this podcast, everybody. Everybody likes to rant about the U.S. government right now, but we can't forget that plenty of other countries have shit governments as well. We cannot let them, in peace or whatever. We need to rant about them as well. And of course, me being in Germany, I got the German government to deal with, which is incredibly unpopular right now as well. Honestly, very many similarities with the US government and German government. We're not that much better in any way. So maybe that makes some listeners feel better. But the game that I'm introing here is a little itch release by a German political activist, they call themselves, who is making interactive games or art pieces to protest against the current German government. And this one is called in German Friedrich Merz leckt Eier, which translates to Friedrich Merz licks eggs, which is, I don't know, like synonym for sucks balls, basically. And Friedrich
Right.
Merz, of course, is the German chancellor right now, who is insanely unpopular. This is important because this sentence, Friedrich Merz leckt Eier, suck eggs, lick eggs, or whatever, is currently a genuine, like, major sentence in national protests that has led to many discussions, even legal ones, about what you can say about the politicians and when does it breach the free speech boundaries and whatnot. It's been when people go out to protest this government right now, you will see people call our chancellor to lick some eggs out of disrespect. And this game plays with that in a way that it builds a sort of like 3D platformer where you do play as Chancellor Merz and you go around licking eggs in a sort of little world full of political parody, built out of a lot of like media snippets about the current reigning party that the chancellor is part of, the goddamn CDU, a very conservative party, a very unpopular party. And it's kind of interesting to see this game truly fully going out in the extremely current and German centric political parody sense, giving you a little bit of a collectible hunt game while blasting you with all of these jokes about the current German government. And I like that. It is, of course, rough around the edges. It is a free itch.io game, but I do enjoy that people are out there and using the media of video games, the medium of video games in this way, which is very exciting. So my hat's off to these people, and I'm glad to be able to share this internationally now. This was made by an itch user called Luca. That is the handle on there. That was the political minute of the How Long to Beat podcast. We're back to regular video games. I got 3 more that I've beaten. Gonna try to get through them quicker. I got Flat Out 2 still, which I have previously mentioned. I was revisiting this, being one of my like favorite nostalgic racing games and whatnot. Still holding up, still great. I did take a bit of a shortcut with the campaign, only doing the 2 basic races and not really dabbling in the optional events. I think that was the right decision, and this was just like a breezy, fun playthrough that still held up and didn't like, destroy the rose tinted glasses or whatever. This is still a good racing game, Flat Out 2. And I'm glad the developers are still around, but I'm going to be talking about that in a different section. What isn't a good game that I revisited is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD, which is a forgotten title in the Pro Skater series that is also not available anymore. This has been delisted years ago because this has been considered one of the biggest flops in the series. This came out back in 2012, I believe, when we were truly starved for good pro skater games. This was like the dark times, and this was like the first pure pro skater game in like a decade or whatever. I remember actually being kind of hyped for it, and I think I did buy it on day 1 or whatever, but I also remember only playing through it like once very quickly, not doing much effort to clean up optional stuff, and then forgetting about it for years. I was just curious, like morbidly curious about going back to this now delisted game, since I still have it available in my Steam library. Look as I remember and as bad as people make it out to be, but yeah, this is genuinely probably the worst pro skater game I have ever played. It is developed by Robomodo, which are infamous for making the worst pro skater games. They also made Pro Skater 5, which was kind of like a death sentence for the series for a good while. And this game also has it's just killed by very ugly visuals, really buggy character movement, and it just genuinely sucks the energy out of your body when you play it. It is horrible. It sucks ass. So whatever you do, don't play this one. Like, do not go out and hunt for this delisted game. It is not worth it. Please trust me. It is.
We've got an active disrecommendation.
Yeah, it's like the Ark of the Covenant, dog. It is closed up for a reason, man. Do not open this.
I thought you were going to say it melts your eyes if you play it.
Yeah, probably. I was lucky. I'm still here to tell the tale. But who knows what it does to you. My last game that I've beaten I want to talk about is one that actually rules fucking hard, though. This is Ace of Seafood, which is you can find this on Steam, and this is a game from, I believe, a Japanese developer who made a whole bunch of games that are all based on like aquatic life. They are more popular now for a game called Fight Crab. That is maybe something that
Oh yeah.
some people heard about. But Ace of Seafood, I believe, was their first release. And in this one, you play as a fish of your choice. I took the salmon. It's a pretty good pick, I would say. And you just roam the ocean. Your task is to uh, conquer as many reefs as you can, which you do by fighting other aquatic animals. And the cool thing is that while fighting other aquatic enemies, you collect their genes, and then you can like breed them and add them to your own squad. And it's like the whole thing is like you're controlling these fish, but it has this like high tech like military aviation HUD and whatnot. It's like kind of made like you're driving a jet plane or whatever while you're controlling
Oh.
your salmon through the ocean.
It's like you found that. I get it.
There you go. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. And you do also get the occasional like genuine warship or submarine in there. I guess the developer just liked them, but like you can have a squad mixing fish and crabs and submarines and all sorts of things. It's very cool. Explore the oceans, you meet all these different creatures. They all have genuine different effects. There is some strategy in how you want to compile your squad. You can also control whatever fish you want. If you have the genes for it, you can make that your player character, which is very fun. There are not many games out there, I think, where you have such a big roster of fish and crabs to control. It's very cool. And if you like dare to dive into the depths, you can even like find a giant squid or like a white shark and whatever. It's pretty dope. And there is a boss fight. There is an ending with a credit roll. It's cool as fuck. It's kind of like rough around the edges. It's very much like an enthusiast making a wild idea become reality, but not having necessarily the, I don't know, skill or time or technicality to make it the most polished thing ever. But it is a fun experiment, and I would like genuinely pay good money for a sequel of this. But I think the developers um, very much set on the fight crab games right now. That seems to be the true winner and focus from this person, which is fine. But this was fun as heck. I actually recommend people looking up Ace of Seafood.
It's on sale right now.
Yeah, damn straight. I think all of the developers' games are on sale right now. I did
Oh.
buy Fight Crab yesterday, so definitely a supporter of this person. And that is all that I have beaten. You're welcome. And with that, it is time to talk about what we've retired and paused. I see Leah got some stuff.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty quick. I am officially retiring these two games off of my list, uninstalling them from my PlayStation and my computer or whatever. The first is the Yoshi's Island randomizer that I was doing. Because it's dead
Bummer.
because the computer I was playing on just stopped connecting to the internet. Won't
Oh,
open the
what?
game anymore. I can't connect to the server, and I'm not setting all of that up again on my
Yeah.
laptop, which has less memory, and it was struggling already on the other desktop. So let's just put this to rest. So, and the other one is Nier Automata. I was told basically that the story in the anime is basically the same as the game. I was playing this for the story, forcing myself through the story, not having a good time. I'm just gonna switch over to the anime for the story and
Yeah, that
just
sounds reasonable.
get rid of
Yeah.
that. So that
Fair.
is officially off of my PlayStation now. And now I know that I can't play those games. So that knocks 3 other things off my backlog that I was going to buy.
Hell
So
yeah. Nice.
Knocked a whole bunch of things out of the way.
About that Yoshi's Island though, so that was a group effort randomizer. What are the other players gonna do, or did they also give up?
One of them finished the game, and then the other two
Oh.
just never got back into the thread. So
Yeah, okay.
I think they just gave up and left me there to struggle, and then we're just like, all right, well,
And
What
then
a
it's just like,
sad
wow.
tale.
to you.
Yeah, I got some yeah, I got some retired games, but also I think I'm gonna be equally quick. 3 games, 2 of them racing games. I did try Horizon Chase Turbo, which is that one arcade game that was recently delisted, which was also why it was back in my memory, I guess, and I finally gave it a shot. Funny thing though, like I spent more time talking to the Epic Store support because for some reason nobody was able to install this game. Like even other people on the How Long to Beat Discord were talking about owning it, but Epic denied an install, claiming some sort of wrong operating system, which was complete nonsense. I talked to the Epic Store support and told them to fix their shit. And I guess at some point they did find out what the hell the problem was. So people can now, if they own the game already, since it's delisted now, if they all own the game already, they can install it. Dope. And I was happy to do that as well. But I have quickly realized that this game looks cool and I'm glad it exists. It's nice to have this on in this long story short, this game seems nice, but it's pretty dull and it's not something that I had much fun with, so I decided not to pursue it further. Pretty much the same thing with Neo Sprint, which is another one of those Atari classic revival games. This is based on some ancient racing game with a new look and whatnot. This is a top-down racing game, which is usually not something I dig. I don't think it's that sort of thing is usually very popular. But what I liked about Neo Sprint is that the entire racetrack is on the screen. You do not like you see the entire racetrack on the screen, and you do not have to worry about what comes up at the edge of the screen like it does in other games. So that kind of like alleviates my major problem with these bird's eye view racing games. And this game does look nice. It has very clean visuals. It seems like it has a decent campaign and whatever. But here as well, similar to Horizon Chase Turbo, I tried it out, didn't stick. I didn't think it was very exciting, so I just dropped it, which is fine. And the third game that I retired is Serious Sam HD, the first encounter, this one I mentioned in previous episodes. And like I said then, I was already unsure if I would actually get to finish this game, and I did now decide that it is not my cup of tea enough to play this further. So I enjoyed what I played decently enough. It is kind of an interesting thing, but it's definitely not my thing. So that's out as well. And that is, I guess, our retired and paused section, since Roy doesn't have anything here.
Yep, as usual, I'm kind of vibing.
But while you're vibing, I think it is a good idea if you are starting off our playing section, since I see you got a bunch of stuff there.
Admittedly, like I said, I didn't have a lot of time to play. A lot of it is just did Wordle, more of my tabletop simulator stuff, and just kind of like chilled and vibed with the game of Civ 4. Probably the most interesting thing that happened is so Blaze Blue Central Fiction. I think most people who are going to be listening to the podcast know what it is, but it's like one of the premier anime fighters, but it's like a decade old at this point. So very randomly, all of the sun, Arc System Works, who made the game, is like, hey, at this EVO, we're going to show a new character for Blaze Blue Central Fiction. After 10 years, this game has not been touched in any way for like 5 years. And 5 years ago was just like adding rollback and fixing like Jubei doesn't appear on the Steam leaderboards for some reason. We fixed it.
Okay, cool.
But all of a sudden they're like, hey, new character. And I mean, I like BlazBlue, so I'm like, hey, that's sick. I'm pretty interested. So me and a friend were like writing some for a project, and then afterwards they're like, "Hey man, want to play some Blaze Blue? The new character's coming out. Feel like playing it some? Sick!" And then we played like 2 hours of honestly mostly just randoms and fucking around more than anything.
Yeah, like you said, you're just vibing. Yeah.
Pretty much. Wasn't really like we only played our mains one match out of probably like 30, so it was very much just like, we just kind of feel like fucking around. But I will say I'm very interested in what they could be doing for the new character because there's so many options. I'm not going to really go into them since I don't know. I don't want one take too long. Two, I'm the only person here who plays it.
When is that new character dropping? When is Evo?
Evo is right now. It is dropping in about 7 hours.
Oh shit! I guess if we can postpone this episode, we might have some hot news for the listeners.
Yeah. I mean, I actually have the Blaze Blue Evo stream on right now for pools, and I'm
Yeah.
watching some of like when nothing's really happening. I'm like looking over. I'm like, oh hey, Hakuman.
Dope. All right.
I'm really hoping. Okay, I'm gonna say one thing that's just really funny about Evo before we move on. But I was watching Evo with that friend too, and one of the main characters of the series, Noelle, is bad in Central Fiction. She kind of got nerfed because of some of her changes. But it's really funny. There was a premier player there who was playing her and doing well. And at first it was just like, oh, hey, Noelle's there. That's cool. And then we looked up, and their username was fucking Noelle's Pop. And we just started losing it at somebody going there with that name. And that's all.
Noel's Pop.
Pop, yeah.
Ay. Yeah, gamers be gamers.
Gamers gaming.
Yeah, I don't know, Leah. Do you wanna continue? There's a lot of bird games. My God.
Yeah.
I mean, I told you
Wow.
this is a bird-based gaming podcast.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that is true.
I'm gonna start with the actual games so people can skip over to the next person after that because I played a lot of demos and I don't
Yeah.
know if that really qualifies as having played something if I'm not gonna continue. So I'm going to start with a game about digging a hole, which I played this on the same day I played Lost and Found. So it was like the strangest, coziest game day that I've had. I got so much reading done between these two games. This game came at me so fast, and I didn't realize how much I was going to enjoy this game. Like I assumed it was just going to be like I clear out the topsoil, gather a few things in the dirt, and be done with it. But apparently, as soon as I hit that dirt, I was like, I want to keep digging forever. The whole yard that they give you is now completely flattened out, and I just like keep going down. I just want to keep going like as far as possible. Like I played it like maybe 4 days in a row where I was just like, tomorrow I'm gonna do that top corner and just go straight down. And so I don't know why, but this is like my new cozy game now where I'm just like, I just want to dig holes in this backyard, this digital backyard. This is great.
So it sounds like a Minecraft effect.
I was
Kind
gonna
of
say
like
now
that sort of
this is
thing.
Minecraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the mines that you're in my backyard.
I have a friend who's very looking forward to this game.
I also am playing Bomb Chicken, which is a kind of a Metroidvania, I think. It's probably just an RPG where you play as an escaped lab chicken. I don't really understand the concept.
Dude, hell yeah.
It's kind of giving Abe's Odyssey in a way because like you're
Oh, dude, hell
running to
yeah.
get out of this lab and there's tons of other chickens around and I'm like, should I be saving them? I'm not sure if that's the case. Like nobody has told me anything and like you can explode them and they don't die. So I mean they do die and then you just keep moving. You don't like lose points or anything. So I'm like I'm not, I guess I'm just escaping myself and just fuck the rest of them, I guess. Um, but you play as a chicken who can only move by laying bombs instead of eggs.
Huh.
So you just move around, either propel yourself up or like you lay a bomb and then shoot it across into an enemy or into obstacle or whatever. So I'm definitely going to come back to that one. That one was super fun to play. And the other ones I have Myrtle, Wordle, Letterinth. I'm also still playing my daily games of
The
those.
classics.
Then I am also going through the 3 games, which I will say are basically the same thing. They're all basically desktop buddy games, which is Chicken Friend,
Oh,
Homeless Pigeon, and Desktop Bird. Which there's 2 desktop birds on itch, so I'm talking about the one that's by I think it's Seabird 22. There's also a Rachel F. Tech one, which I did not know existed until I went looking for the developer of this one. So now I have to play that one next time.
of course, yeah.
Um, Homeless Pigeon is by It's Nemo, and Chicken Friend is on Steam, but their developer is Ironcock Studios. So basically all of these
Excuse me.
that's it.
It's brutal.
Basically, they're all pretty much the same. You have like a little wandering pet on your screen. Desktop bird is a cardinal. Homeless pigeon is a pigeon. Chicken friend is a chicken. Chicken friend has a little bit more gameplay because it has a little counter on it, so it'll count your mouse clicks and your keyboard typing. And allegedly, it's counting up to when you hatch an egg or you lay an egg, and then you get some points, and then you can spend it on hats for the bird or for the chicken or whatever. But I had it running for like close to an hour and they never laid an egg, so I don't know what's going on there. I think my chicken might be a rooster. Happy Pride. But
Hell yeah.
homeless pigeon, uh, it it starts off where it has like a little nest, which is like already like distracting because I've never seen a pigeon on an actual nest. So that's already reality wrong right there. But basically everything else, once you leave all of these alone for a while, they kind of just like wander around your desktop and do whatever. So it's not much of a game, but they're fun to have every once in a while if you want to just have like a little desktop buddy just wandering around. And they're also a bird.
What I don't
Yeah.
understand though, why is it called a homeless pigeon when it lives on your PC?
You're adopting it. It's a homeless pigeon until you adopt it, and then it lives
Ah,
on your desktop.
okay, that's fair.
That does explain it.
I might gotta
Um,
get on this as well.
so at this point, I'm gonna start talking about Switch demos and PC demos. So if people want to just skip ahead after this, you can do that. Um, but for Switch demos, I downloaded Tomodachi Life demo, which I really want this game, but I don't have fresh Nintendo game money right now. What I do have is download free demo Wi-Fi, so that's what I did. Um, and so basically, you can only have 3 characters in this. And then once you add the last character, all they actually say to you is basically just an ad for the game because they're like, "Hey, did you know in the full version you can do this? In the full version you can do this." And I'm like, "Okay, thank
Awesome.
you." Like, I actually can't play this game past having a 3rd character. So, it does seem like my kind of humor, and it does seem like it's gonna be a fun game to actually play when I get around to it. But I don't know if I'm going to find it for like under $30 for a very long time since it's so popular. There's not probably not going to be
Yeah.
a used copy for a very long time, so we'll
No.
see. I also played Donkey Kong Country Returns because I was curious about what it actually is because I thought it was a remaster for Donkey Kong Country and it's not. But what I do know is that when I did download it, it uh tested my patience very greatly and I died like 5 times in a row and I was like, I give up. I don't want to play your game anymore. So I'm saving money there also.
So did they actually preserve the difficulty of the original games then? I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
basically.
That's cool.
Give up on that one. The next thing I played was Big Brain Academy Brain versus Brain,
The fuck?
which my mom and I were big into brain games back on the
Oh yeah.
DS. We used to play those all the damn time. So somehow I didn't know or I forgot that this existed for the Switch now. So I really want to play the full game because there's a lot of little games that are locked in the demo that I was like, that sounds really fun. Let me play those right now. In the meantime, there's only like 4 mini games that you can play in the demo. So I mean, I go through periods of playing like the mobile game successors of these, which like Elevate and Lamosity and all those sort of like brain games that they have on the mobile store. So it'll be nice to play this on Switch if I ever get my hands on this.
So in the brain game, are you like flexing with your intelligence against your
Yeah,
family?
they have one of them is like they'll give you like a field of numbers, and it's like you have to tap the numbers from lowest number to highest number. But sometimes the lower number will be larger, so your brain will be like, "Oh,
Right.
that one comes later," because you're trying to go like small to large. Then they'll throw in negative numbers, so you'll see like -72, but you only see 72 like accidentally, so like, you click
Yeah.
on that. So it's one of those. They'll have like Sudoku. They have another one where they give you like two images and you have to like look at the word and like pick which word it is. But it's like rapid session, so you have to like just do your first immediate thought. Um, so that was kind of hard because you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna go left, and you're like, no, actually, that was related to the picture on the right, so it's a big mess.
It's like
Um,
WarioWare for nerds.
yeah, basically. So those are fun. And then at the end, like most of the Brain Academy games, they'll give you like a little score of like how well you did comparatively, versus your speed versus, how fast you reacted, stuff like that. The next one, I'm gonna admit that I only knew about this because of Rule 34.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
That is a horrible intro.
Started off.
Good lord.
So I was
Do not-
curious to see what the actual gameplay was, but but it's basically, this is ARMS I'm talking about. It's
What? You found about this? Okay, I'm not gonna question that. That's fine.
I don't know.
Jeez.
I'm curious.
Oh boy.
And so I was curious to see what the gameplay was like. And basically it's that one spirit temple fight in Tears of the Kingdom, where you're just boxing. This is the weirdest part about how I found this versus what this is actually meant to be played for, is this is basically boxing for the Splatoon demographic.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how I got introduced to this in that way, but anyway,
That's wild. Yeah.
I mean, there's only so many ways.
yeah, I've played better boxing and fighting games, and I've played worse boxing and fighting games. So it was just kind of okay. I didn't really feel like I really want the full game, so that I deleted
Mhm.
pretty quickly.
I feel like there was a
The-
kind of a big hype when that was announced for some reason. Like people were kind of like cheering this on quite a lot back then. I never
Yeah.
really got why.
I would say probably because Splatoon is probably one of the only things about the Wii U you could say was like successful.
that started
Both that,
Mm.
crazy.
both because it sold well and made a franchise, and I think Nintendo really positioned ARMS as like, this is our early Switch new franchise, like Splatoon. We're
Yeah.
gonna do like an early test, and it's a multiplayer game like Splatoon. I don't know. I never was really
Okay.
big into ARMS or interested in it, but like, I think that's
Me
why there was
neither.
kind of that.
I think there are more interesting body parts than arms, I gotta say. Why can't we get toes or
Three
something?
arms.
That would be cool.
I mean, we got thumb wrestling, so we've got thumb.
Oh my god, you're right. I hate that you're right with that. God damn
So
it.
we get closer and closer to toe every day.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That's gonna be its own Rule 34 listing. But
Jeez, Louise. Yep. That's
So
great.
true.
I'm so sorry for the people that have no idea what the fuck we're talking about, but I'm also happy for them to not
so
know what the
nice.
fuck
So
we're talking about.
You can
So
always Google Rule 34.
no, do not Google nothing ever.
Fine, use Bing.
The next one I have is Dragon Quest Builders, which I only downloaded because Diallo mentioned that
Yeah.
Pokemon Pokopia is a mix of Animal Crossing and this game, which I had never heard of before because I don't really pay attention to the Dragon Quest franchise. So I downloaded it, and it's basically like Minecraft in the Dragon Quest world and didn't really connect at all to Animal Crossing. So now I'm even more confused about what Pokemon Pokegear is about.
Great.
But yeah, not really my type of thing. And I was also digging holes in another game, so I didn't play that one for very long. The next one is Pardon My French Toast, which is the game that asks if platform gaming existed while you were also a sentient piece of French toast.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
So basically, this one was okay. It's basically all the mechanics from Sackboy Adventures, Little Big Planet sort of thing. So I was like, oh, I know what I'm basically doing. You know, a lot of like wall jumping and swinging across things and stuff. But like, there wasn't really anything beyond that. So I was like, I don't really care to be a French piece of French toast. There's no real like story here.
What a
So I
hot
was like, I
take.
guess this is good for like little kids or whatever, but I was just like, I'm not gonna buy the full game of this. This is kind of
Yeah.
just a regular platformer. So
Maybe
uh
you can try I Am Bread instead if you need some
oh
other bread-based platforming. That was
yeah,
a classic.
carb gaming.
And the bread
Yeah.
formers are going crazy.
Yeah.
Tried Mahjong Puzzle 8, which is real Mahjong and not like
8.
match tile Mahjong, so that was fun to do, but it didn't work properly on my Switch and wouldn't like whenever I would like click on a tile, it would click the tile next to it or the tile below it. So
Mm.
if that's how the demo works, I don't want the full game, so deleted that. Esophaguys was a weird one, but is basically like Bionic Commando sort of mechanic where you're like swinging around, but instead of with a bionic arm, you're using your neck because you chomp onto a tree and then swing away because you have like an elongated neck to swing around, which was it was kind of fun, but again, it was kind of like a one trick platformy thing where I was like, I've played this sort of game before and you're not bringing anything other than like the quirkiness to it, so deleted that. Marvel Cosmic Invasion, another game that I really want, but I'm not really in a hurry to spend full price for it
Yeah,
because I'll
yeah,
probably finish it
same.
in like in a day or two. But that one was actually delightful in the same way that the Shredder's Revenge one was, and I'm sure
Mm.
the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers one is. So I will get that one eventually. That one was just kind of more of like, I want to play this game. I can't afford it. I'm gonna play the demo. So that one was enjoyable. I will get to that. That one I guess should be counted as pause for right now because whenever I do
Right.
buy it, I will play that. Um, and Roger just came out of nowhere. This demo I really appreciated. In the demo, it's basically the start of like a psychological horror. You wake up and there's a person you don't know in your house, and I guess you're like a little kid or something, and you don't know where your dad is, and they won't tell you where your dad is. And I'm like, I'm so curious about the actual story of this game, and I want to play it, but I'm like, the way that they threw me in, I was just like, I'm invested. I guess that worked as a demo because I will eventually, I'll put that on my wish list to play the full game at some point just to know what the hell's going on there. The last one for the Switch demos I have here is Bubble Ghost Remake, which was one of the titles growing up that I feel like nobody knew about but me. Like I had Bible Adventures that eventually got a cult on the internets. I liked Bionic Commando, which had a remake on the PS3. Probably was one of the first games that I bought digitally. A Boy and His Blob had a remake on the Wii. And the only one that really everyone kind of forgot about, except for me, apparently, was Bubble Ghost, and they just got a remake last year. So like growing up, nobody really played this one, so this was like the one game that I had on Game Boy that I was able to play, and nobody would be like, "Oh, here's what you do here," or "Here's what you do
Oh
there," or
yeah.
like, "Oh,
Okay.
we figured out how to do
Right.
this," or "Oh, did you get to that part yet?" Like nobody knew this game. It was only my game to play, and I was like, I can figure it out. I can master it myself. I never finished it myself or whatever, but it was like that was like my game. Anytime that like nobody was around, I was like, I'm gonna play this. Nobody will understand this but me. So, the weird thing about this remake, though, even in the demo, they added a story that didn't need to be there. Like, I don't think that there was a story to begin with. And like I remember like having like all these little like lore ideas, like, oh, maybe this is the bubbles like the ghost's castle, and like this bubble is like his old friend or whatever. Like I don't know. But in this one, they give him like this weird thing where like the ghost was an inventor. He marries this girl, like Beauty and the Geek sort of a thing. He gets
Right.
enlisted, goes off to war, dies, and then returns home later after she's dead. And now he's pulling this bubble through the house or whatever. And I was like, what's happening here? Why did
Huh?
he die and take so long to get back home that she's dead and the house is derelict? I don't understand what's happening here.
Wait, did
Why
that
is this
even
the story?
explain the bubble
It
part?
doesn't. I was like, I
What?
don't understand. I think maybe the bubble has to do with her, but it doesn't really explain unless I missed something in the little cutscene.
It's the last
But
fart captured for eternity.
so like I'm not really sure if I'm invested in the story, and which is strange because like I guys would care for this game. But I'm like, the story being tacked on, I'm like, I don't know if you're going to ruin this game for me by having the story tacked on, which is like the complete opposite of like everything else I've ever said when it comes to a game. I'm like, oh, this doesn't have a story. I'm done with it. This one, I'm like, this one has a story. I'm done. So
Wild.
we'll see. We'll see if I can find it for like a decent price enough that I can risk playing the full game without, worrying if I have to retire it or whatever.
Yeah.
What else do I have here? PC demos. Unlucky. Oh, more bird games. Unlucky Chicken,
Hell
which
yeah.
it's not shovelware, but it's almost kind of shovelware. Basically, you are a chicken that fell down into this ravine, into this gulf or whatever, and two different buttons control either of your wings, and you're supposed to like flap your way out of the ravine and keep going. It's basically getting over, but you're a chicken.
Mm.
I played for a few, got over a few cliffs or whatever, and then like fell all the way back down. And I was like, I'm not playing this past that, so we're done there. It's good for every once in a while, and again, also a podcast game it'd be useful for that. Pico Park Classic Edition, which was the edition of this co-op classic. They threw this up recently for free, but then I guess they realized that everybody was downloading this casually and not like they were downloading it to play it casually, and they weren't shelling out money for like the edition that was paid on Steam. So they
Right.
delisted this one. So um so I played a few of these, but again, it's like a co-op game. It's kind of hard to play on your own for some of the levels. So I played as much as I could and then got over that because I was like, I'm not gonna. It's more fun to either play with somebody else or watch other people play on Twitch. So I will continue to do that. Oh, Mr. Toilet. Here's the toilet section of the
Heck
demo.
yeah. Tell me about it.
This is a simulator where you run a public restroom, which as an American seems unheard of, and as a New Yorker, even more confused by the concept of such a place because we don't have like just public toilet facilities on their own either. It's like a cafe or like a bookstore or something.
Okay,
You
yeah.
go in and you use their restroom. So, but this is just like you're not running anything but just like two different rooms for the men and the women, and you just have to stock it up, clean the stalls, clean the walls, clean the floors, and that's all you do. So, not much to a game, not much of a story, and so I just kind of I played it for like maybe 3 or 4 games in game time, and then I was done with that. And there was one section though that it was like graffiti on the floor, which I didn't. Also, one of the graffitis that
That's
they'll write
inventive.
just says "gang," and I'm
Yeah,
like, I
and
look, it just says
saw that.
"gang," like,
Yeah.
like. But there was one that was like on the floor, but it was in between the two stalls, so I couldn't actually get the sponge under to clean both of the stalls. So it was just like this streak of brown across both of the stalls, and I was like,
Oh, that
excellent, that's
rules.
just gonna stay there. So
So you said there's not much story there, but I want to say that a bowel movement can tell many stories all at once. So I don't know if I believe your claim there.
I mean, it was very interesting that like the certain the trash that they would like come in holding nothing, go into the bathroom, come out, and then there's cans everywhere, and I'm like, where did you get this can? There's not a vending
Huh.
machine here. Like, did you just have it in your pocket? Like,
Maybe they produced it, if you know what I'm
yeah,
saying.
maybe. Okay, so that's that. Pigeon, a love story, is a game where you're a pigeon in a city. In the demo, it's London.
Yes. I'm
Um,
excited about this.
In the full game, apparently you can have other cities, and basically you're just cooing the whole time to find your soulmate.
Okay,
So
yeah.
you coo enough times that the birds flying around, and they give you eventually a hint to figure out where your soulmate is on this map. Mine, it was like go east, and that was like go north. So I keep going on these tiles. There's like a little the map is just like a tile. So you just keep going, and then some bird was like, "Oh, you're too far north. Go, oh, you're so close." And then I was like, "Okay, I'm in just this one tile. I'm just gonna keep going around, cooing at everybody until you find your pigeon."
Yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
found the pigeon for me, and then that's the end of the level or the game, really, because it's the one goal in the entire game is to just find them, and then you're done. So did that uh twice in London, and then that was the end of that demo. So I guess you can also play this co-op, and I'm assuming you would have more people on the same level, and you're trying to find only one other person, maybe. So I'm sure it's one of those games that's a lot more fun with people.
Or you might have to find each other, I would assume.
Yeah, something like that.
I find it interesting though that there's a demo at all because this does like I've seen this in the making before, but I couldn't really imagine much depth with this concept. I'm not really
Yeah.
sure what they are going with. But from your description of the demo, I'm okay. I guess there must be more than just finding your partner then, which is good. I'm
I
curious
think you can
what they are gonna
unlock
do.
different cities somehow. And
But
I think there's probably
yeah,
like an achievement hunter aspect to it too, where it's like find them
mm,
faster, find them in this city faster than you did the last time or something like that. So, um, yeah, it's the like I was just like I would just want to I feel like if you play with other people, you can just cheat because these are all based on real cities. So you can just be like, I'm
right.
by the bridge in your city or whatever, and you're like, okay, I'll just fly over there, and then that's the end of the level. So there has to be some way that they're changing it where you can't just tell somebody where you are, and then they can just find you there. So yeah.
Mm.
The next one is Winter Burrow, which I thought this was going to be like a game
Yeah.
about living in the woods as a mouse,
Is it not?
doing it is sort of, but there's so much crafting when it comes to this.
Oh.
They give you like a little storyline before where it's like you got kicked out of your house, and like your parents died never coming back to the burrow, and like now you've returned. It's like, in the middle of winter, if you stand outside for too long you die because it's cold and you're a
Yeah.
mouse. And then every little thing is like you need to start a fire, you have to craft some things, and you have to go outside, look for all these things. And I was like, there's way too much crafting involved in this tiny little cozy game
Ooh,
for
yeah.
me to enjoy. Like crafting for like RPGs is one thing, but when it's just like, oh, just like take care of your house or whatever, but I have to go find this one flower out in the winter, it's just like I'm not gonna I don't have the patience for this.
Yeah, that might put me off as well. I thought it looked cute as well, but that's
Yeah.
a concern now.
I think if I had more patience and wasn't, barreling through so many demos at the same time, I probably would
Yeah,
be more like interested in it. That's that. Car Wash Simulator, which is an absolutely horrid version of a job sim. Washing the cars is not fun in any way. It's
I
not
believe
like
that.
Power Wash Simulator, and it's not like Car Mechanic Simulator. There were certain jobs that they just would be like, "Oh, they need you to clean the car," and the car is just filled with like aluminum cans. And I was like, "This isn't cleaning. I'm just picking up your trash. This is not me washing your
Yeah.
car. This is the complete opposite of that. This is the inside of the car. I wash the outside."
Maybe you can get
Um,
a deposit back though with the cans.
yeah.
That would be nice.
So I'm assuming that there was some sort of a story there, but I didn't really care too much. And like in between you getting jobs, they were also like, fix the lot that you're on, throw the trash away. And I was like, I'm supposed to be here to clean the car, not to deal with the actual
Yeah.
business running of the place.
Odd.
So there was more business running involved than I was expecting for this game. So that's that. Um Trees Hate You is the next one that I've been seeing a lot on like reels and stuff on social media. Um, it's kind of reminiscent of like Cat Mario and like a lot of those like rage baity games that kind of came out during like the early internet
Cat
ages.
Mario. You mean Kaizo
Yeah.
Mario, I think.
Huh?
Kaizo Mario?
I don't know. But
With the cat character?
it's
Yeah,
like a
whatever. Yeah.
it's it's there was an actual Mario ripoff that did the same thing, but it was basically one of those games where like you're playing like a Mario, like Super Mario Bros, but like random shit happens to like throw you
Yeah.
off and you don't even realize.
Yeah, that's Kaizo
So,
Mario. And the character was a
um
cat, so I can see the confusion. But yeah, go on. Sorry.
so yeah, so anyway, so basically Trees Has You is basically the same thing. Like there's no indication of what the trees are going to do next. So, like, as you're walking through, you just die. And then, like,
Yeah.
there's no way to, and you're like, okay, now I know how to get past that tree next time. But you have to die at every single tree in order to figure out what it does. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not replaying this from every, checkpoint just to figure out what's going on with the tree. And there would be times I was like, okay, if I'm far away enough, maybe it won't like detect me or whatever. And then no, it'll just jump across the screen and hit me or whatever. And I'm like, all right, there's no way to like outsmart the tree just to get around it. So,
Yeah,
uh,
this genuinely sounds like a content creator game. Definitely.
yeah, that's I can see why it's so popular on my reels right now.
Right. Yeah.
Um, Gigabash, which is a game that I learned from you,
Hell yeah.
Matt. Um, so like my family was huge on War of the Monsters on PS2, and my dad's a big Godzilla fan. So when you mentioned this, I saw a demo was available and I had to try that. But the demo only lets you do the tutorial, everything else is like blocked out.
Right.
So basically I just did the tutorial and I was like, okay, game is on my list. I will play this eventually at some point, but not right
Yeah.
now. But I might try playing this with my family also because
Yeah,
we're big on kaijus.
that would rule, yeah.
SONGBOY, which is basically just a doll masquerading as a game. It's just like they're
What?
little bots, and they're each bot is a part of the beat, and you shuffle them to get a new sample to play, and then you can save your creations, and that's basically what this is. It's more of a tool than it is a game. The bots are cute. Um, and if you need a quick music beat or sample or whatever, I guess you can just spin it up in that pretty quickly.
Hmm.
Up Earth, which answers the question if Fortnite was Super Mario Sunshine, because you open
Oh.
to create a character. You do the outfit, you do the hair, you do the skin tone, and then after that, it becomes a first-person view where you never see any of that ever again.
That's great. I
And
love
then
that.
and then you just have like this vacuum gun. It's a portal gun, essentially. And you're in the future of the Earth where humans have made so much trash that there's a whole department to clean up all of our trash. And so you're just like thrown onto this beach into tutorial, and you have different nozzles, uh, including nozzles for picking up the trash that's on the beach, picking up the trash that's buried under the sand, and picking up trash that is radioactive, but somehow is fine to be standing close to, and is even more necessary to suck up into your arm to throw away. So I don't understand that concept, but sure.
Are you Wally in this game? Sounds like that.
Basically, yeah. But unfortunately, you don't get to turn everything into cute little cubes. But
Oh, sure.
there is a tiny little drone that kind of looks like Eva though, so that's where I got stuck actually, because there's one section of the tutorial that was like, wake up the drone at the end, but he had been following me the whole time. So I was like, he's already up, so I can't unlock that if he's already here. So I got stuck there and I couldn't progress. And I think there's 4 tutorials, and then I think after that there were like 4 levels that you could play if you finished the tutorial, but I couldn't finish the tutorial, so there was that. But this seems like a good game to play if you just want to like run around with friends online, because it's also co-op. But I'm
Oh.
not so sure how it's one of those games that seems like it would need a lot of players to stay online, and I'm not sure if it has the audience to stay online for very long, so I'm not sure. But the story itself, even if you're just playing solo, is actually really fun. To read the lore of this like future Earth where everything is just trash. Um, so that was fun.
You don't need to
I
wait for the future for that.
well, I mean, true.
Yeah.
But it does seem like a fun game. Like if you're gonna play like a friend stop game, at least this one has a storyline that you can play on your own or with friends. So it's like, actually
Okay.
worth my while at least. Slayer's X Terminal Aftermath, Vengeance of the Slayer, which is set up like a Doom clone. So that was cute and nostalgic, but it's actually just a sort of sequel to Hypnospace Outlaw. So I wanted to try this for that reason, but I'm not going to buy the full game because I'm not sure if I can deal with Doom clones right now.
Fair.
Downloaded the demo and went through it. Yeah, it also has the music from Hypnospace in
Oh.
it, so that was fun. I got to my
That's
favorite music
always
from
good.
Hypnospace is in it, so that's great. And they also have like a lot of little references to the kid from Hypnospace that technically made this game or whatever. And it's very like Matrixy, sort of like late 90s, like a Doom slash Duke Nukem humor and
Right,
references
yeah.
in there.
Cool guy shooter.
That was fun. The last one here I have is Featherland and Birdwatching book are basically the same thing. They're much like the Ivarium game that I had played recently. Um,
Featherland is quite a title choice. Good lord.
um, they're sort of desktop buddy games, but they're more kind of like Spirit City Lo-Fi or whatever the name of that I was playing for a while, or
Yeah.
yeah, so basically you set it up, there's like a little screen. In Featherland, it's like a jungle for some reason. Bird watching is kind of more like you just have like a window in a city. I think there's other sections in the full game, but on the demo you just had the balcony. And then you just watch the birds show up and you score points, how many birds you unlock and how well you take care of them or whatever. You buy stuff for the birds, buy hatch eggs in Featherland. Um So they're basically just like idle games, but if I'm gonna play either one of these, I'll just go back to Tiny Bird Garden, which was more my speed anyway.
Mhm.
Um, but I do like in bird watching, no, not bird watching, in Featherland, it has like all the productivity things. So you have like a timer and like habits and stuff that you can go through. Uh, and just have your birds on the side. I did also like that in Birdwatching Notebook started you off with sparrows, and I love sparrows. And like the first bird that you get is like 5 different tree sparrows to show up, and I was like, excellent, I love this game.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
Yeah, I think you did it.
That freaking whole list. So yeah, that's
I
that's
mean,
what
considering how fast the rest of the segments were going, we needed something big.
Sure. Yeah. So I got a couple games as well. I did not play demos. Not my kind of
Matt, I'm
deal.
not gonna lie. That section was so long, I actually forgot you hadn't done yours.
Yeah. Well, surprise, surprise, motherfucker. Yeah, no, I got a couple games here. For one, like I talked previously about Flat Out 2, that old racing game. And I said that the developers are still going strong. The Bugbear Entertainment, they are currently working on Wreckfest 2, but I am playing Wreckfest 1 still, which again, Flat Out 2 back in the day when I was a late teenager, that was one of my favorite racing games of all time. And I remember when they announced the developers making a new game after I think a long time of silence, which was this Wreckfest, what became Wreckfest eventually. I was very, very early on supporting their crowdfunding campaign in like 2013 or 14, something like that. And um, it's been 12 years now since those days. I remember spending um, I think close to 100 hours in the early beta, like multiplayer with like local friends and whatnot back in the day. But I've never actually finished the proper campaign ever since the game fully released, like in 2018, I think. I started it, but never like went through all of it. And hyped up again from revisiting Flat Out 2, I made it my project to actually finally finish Wreckfest as well. And it is genuinely a type of game where you can totally see that it's the same developer that just like developed further, that just evolved with time. It is a very similar game, but improved in every way. It is still a destruction racing game with like soft body modeling on the cars, where they like genuinely morph in depending on where you get hit and how you crash into things. It's not like pre-rendered car models or whatever. It's live using the physics engine and whatnot, which was already a big thing with Flat Out 2, and they, kept going with it and probably tweaking it for modern technology with Wreckfest. It's still fun as fuck to see your car completely destroyed and still somehow rolling along the road. And another thing that kept going from Flat Out 2 is that the weight of your car is genuinely important. And with Flat Out 2, I realized that I don't feel like played many racing games where the weight of your car is genuinely crucial to your gameplay and genuinely part of how you are going to go through these racetracks, with bare bones kind of example being like a light car, of course, being faster, but you're gonna be pushed around like a balloon, and you're gonna be stuck on every little piece of debris on the road. So a heavy car genuinely has a lot of advantages. It is, I think, the only Wreckfest and Flat Out 2, like these sort of games from these developers, are the only racing games where I can think of that I would prefer like a heavy American truck or whatever over like a proper race car or something like that. But it's cool that way because it makes for a racing experience that I don't usually have with other racing games. And Wreckfest does good things with this. Plenty of different event types and whatnot. It did get a little bit dull. I'm in like the last leg of the events, and there's a lot of like repetitive tracks, a lot of like NASCAR style circle tracks, which are fun every now and then, but not like constantly and with a lot of laps. These have been really kind of like exhausting lately. But I am close to the finish line, to the credit roll, and I am planning to keep on pushing to finally, after over a decade, like seeing all this final game has to offer, basically. Another game that I've previously mentioned is Wonder Stop, which that was the most recent game from the Stanley Parable person, but a game that kind of flew under the radar. And I'm kind of curious to see, given the developer's previous works, this cannot be like a straightforward deal where it is purely what it represents itself as. Because Wonder Stop is, on the surface at least, the story of like an hustling and bustling warrior type that has to learn to take a chill pill and ends up at like a tea shop where they are basically forced to slow down. And so the gameplay is all about like cozy as heck tea shop stuff. Dealing with the customers and their specific wishes, like gardening the tea ingredients and all of that sort of thing. Very introspective writing. Though the problem is that I do hate the protagonist, but like the whole deal is that they just are really set on always walking, and if they don't walk, they are like a worthless loser, and they have to be the best in the world, and nothing else matters, and rest is for the weak, like that sort of deal. And I get why,
Weird.
like the whole point of this is going to be that this headstrong character is gonna understand at the end, hopefully, that rest is good. But it's like I can like not relate even a single percent to this character, and the dialogue has been getting really grating in the first couple of hours with this one, which is kind of exhausting. But in the last session or so with this game, there were a couple more interesting customers coming in that challenge the protagonist in some more interesting ways, and that has alleviated some of that frustration for me, at least. But I'm still waiting for the twist or whatever, for the true depths of this game to open up. And maybe there isn't even something like that. Maybe those are just like unfortunate expectations giving the developers previous games. But also, this truly does seem like the kind of developer with a bigger scope than just a polished but basic tea shop organizing game with a lot of story writing. I cannot imagine that is all the Stanley Parable person would do. So I keep waiting for the switch up, the change. Has yet to come.
I mean, you never know. Maybe after having so many things with switch up and changes, they just want to do something normal.
It could be, but I'm not convinced yet. I believe it when I see the credits. What else am I playing? The newest co-op game that I'm playing with my co-op buddy is In Sync, 2-player asymmetrical puzzle co-op game, which does the usual. You get through different environments. These are themed levels, which is nice. You have like, I don't know, a movie studio level that has you playing through an hour or two. You have like an ancient ruin level that has you play an hour or two. It's like very nice, like nicely segmented for individual, game sessions and whatnot. And the puzzles are pretty good variety, pretty decent head scratchers. There's a good hint system though, and it has, a in-game notebook, all of these lovely things. It seems just like a well-made, polished core puzzle game. I don't really have like anything special to point out with this, but this is the sort of game that I would like recommend to people that are looking for this stuff. And we're having a good time. So co-op games, look up In Sync. It's good. It's good stuff. And the fourth game that I'm playing right now is I think this is a German production, I must imagine, because this is called Fernbus Simulator. I think internationally it uses the title Coach Simulator, and that is coach in the sense of like a long distance bus, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And this is just my newest game in the realm of European public transport simulators.
Fits into the German law genre, I suppose.
Oh yeah, fair enough. But yeah, this is legit just what it is, what it says on the tin. It is a long distance bus simulator, which though like it has the map is based on real cities in Germany. It is trying to more or less, depending on the city, actually like represent the real location. And it has an official like branding from Flixbus, which is like a major long distance bus organizer. I guess is this an international thing? I don't even know if that is okay. I don't fucking know, but yeah, this is basically a Flixbus simulator. It has the official
At least
branding.
in New York, I understand. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. It has like the true one-to-one, true-to-life recreations of these individual buses used by the Flixbus company. And it goes. If you choose the realism mode, you do have the option to fuck around with every single button and switch in the cockpit of your bus, which is hilarious in a way that you can like turn Wi-Fi on and off.
What?
You have to grant the customers access to the toilet. They can complain about the AC being too cold, and you have to like dial in a specific temperature. It's wild what you can do in this. It's
That's
really
hilarious.
funny. But also at the same time, there doesn't seem to be much of any consequences for not doing what you're supposed to, which there's a scoring system after you finished a route, and of course you do get like negative points if you, I don't know, don't listen to the customer or like crash into a car or whatever. But it's like so minute, it's like so small that it really doesn't have an impact or a proper impact on your final score. It feels you can like crash into the nearest cop car and nothing really happens. It's pretty funny.
It's like the bus simulator where I was just running over passengers and pedestrians. It was like deducted
Yeah.
$50 or whatever, and it was like I have $2,000. Like that's not doing anything.
That is fair, but at least, like, I was thinking of, I played the Tram Simulator from the same
Yeah.
developers, of course, so same mechanics. But I was thinking at least there you were detracted money, which does mean something to you in this fanbus simulator. There isn't really anything they are taking away from you. There is no true consequences. So I think truly between, for me, the Tram Simulator, the Train Sim World, and now this Fanbus Simulator, I actually believe the Fanbus Simulator is like the weakest one. It's not as interesting as a game with its mechanics, but it's still funny to see the decisions made with this game with all these weird little details. And it's also, with Tram Simulator and Train Sim World, I've been playing public transport on rails. Now I'm free on the road. I'm blasting over the Autobahn, which is another thing. Like, you can just ignore the speed limit and, like, it gives you a little warning, I guess. But again, no actual consequences. The police doesn't give a fuck when they see you either. So a bit disappointing. There is, however, police checks on specific parts of the Autobahn where you have to, like, go into, like, the sideline and, like, they check your driver's license, I guess, but there is not really anything you do. They check if you have your safety shit on bus, but that is not something that you take care of. So I don't really know how you would even fail
that's
these.
weird.
Yeah, and it's like these sort of things that there's all of these features and mechanics, but they are not real, kind of. They're, I guess, just for the vibe. It's strange. But I also kind of dig it. I love turning on and off the Wi-Fi on my bus.
That's a pull for me, actually.
No other game lets me do that. It also has
I spent most of my 20s on these type of buses going between Boston and Philadelphia and New York. So to have the power to piss off other people would be great.
To piss off other people. That's truly a mighty power that has to be cherished.
On a coach bus.
Me too, though. Yeah, I've been using these buses when I was a bit younger to regularly, like, drive to long distance relationships and whatnot. Which is also the first route that I drove in the car. It was legit that route that I used to drive so often in real life, which was kind of interesting. Which, of course, starts in my hometown. And if I wanted to dox myself again, I guess.
Any more that you have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every episode, Matt just increasingly doxes himself.
Yeah, I don't know.
Max is gonna be like, this video game is set in my apartment complex.
Yeah, listen, if you want to stalk and murder me, just call beforehand. That's fine. We'll make an appointment. But the thing is, I'm just gonna be straight up with you. Where I live, I can literally see the Fernbus station. Like, I can literally see that from where I'm sitting right now, which means in the game, that location is literally my neighborhood. And I was excited for that because that would mean here's a video game that has my apartment in it. Train Sim World kinda has that as well. Train Sim World kinda has it as well, since that has my work commute, and you can kinda, like, look into the distance and see some weird buildings that are sort of in the direction of where I live, which is neat. But this one would literally have a spawn point in front of my house. But while some of the locations truly are, like, recognizable with real world locations, this place in the video game, zero similarity. It's complete bullshit. And I find that extremely disappointing, because why even call it after this town when it's not even representing it? It's such a disappointment. I guess that also plays into the discussion topic later on. But yeah, that's Fernbus Simulator. I think The campaign, if you want to call it, is pretty loosey-goosey. So the so-called campaign in this game doesn't seem to like follow like a fixed structure. I think what you're supposed to do is just like make your own routes until you have visited every town. And I first thought this was just gonna be a part of Germany, but it turns out the fog of war lifts the further you travel, and it's gonna be eventually the entirety of Germany. And you're spending a lot of time on the road in this game, getting from town to town. So I do not believe I'm actually gonna go through all of Germany in this gosh darn simulator game. So this might very well be in my retired category next time. But for now, I guess I'm officially playing it. And that's really all have actively been playing since last time. There's a couple of things that are kind of dormant in my playing tab. But that was the stuff that I've actually touched recently. Which that concludes our beaten, retired, and playing sections, and we will move on to the actual, real, true discussion topic of this episode, which, as mentioned before, is about real life locations in video games that we might have visited, which would be the highlight, I guess. And I already kind of talked about some real life locations in video games that I have been by doxing myself once more. So, how about you two? What are some real life locations that you have found in video games as well?
Pretty difficult for me because I'd say I haven't really traveled outside of the state I've lived the
Right,
past
yeah.
27 years or whatever in a long time. Technically, I went to San Fran for a while and Texas for a while. Visit like my great grandmother and just like other stuff, but not really any noteworthy locations I've visited on either
Is
of
your
those.
grandmother's house not in a video game? If you travel to Texas,
Great grandmother.
Oh, if you travel to Texas, you should have gone to that Hooters in Corpus Christi, and then you would have been in a location from the Hooters racing game that we talked about a year ago or something.
We know where Matt's visiting if he comes to the U.S.
Yeah.
Oh, straight up.
Matt's got to get the Hooters.
The Texas Hooters.
I mean, the first thing I can think of is that, like Fallout New Vegas, obviously,
Yeah.
is set in Vegas. But thing is, I haven't actually played Fallout New Vegas. I own it. I haven't actually played it.
But it's kind of cool. Like, I'm sure there are plenty of video games that are somewhere set in Vegas. So
Yeah,
it would probably
definitely.
not be like that difficult of you to hunt some locations down and then like see the video game equivalent. I don't have that privilege being here in Germany, and I'm not really in like historical places. So,
That's true. I mean, you could probably find like technically World War II games or something, but it's not really the same thing.
yeah. You wanna hear a funny story about that?
Funny stories about World War II.
Yeah, dog. There's a World War II video game on Steam called Raid on the Ruhr, which is a World War II set historical video game that is taking place in the Ruhr Valley, which is like the grand part of Germany that I am living in. So again, that would have been like a sort of historical game in my real life surroundings, sort of. But the funny thing is that this game on Steam is not is region locked. You cannot actually buy it if you're living in Germany.
Oh,
And that is so ironic and sad. I would have really loved to play that before this
well,
episode.
Crazy.
here's the question. Yar hard
Yeah.
fiddly dee.
I don't think it's big enough to find it to pirate is the problem. It's like a small thing from an obscure educational developer, something like that.
I mean,
But I
that
might
be,
look up.
That might be somewhere. There's so many random games that have stuff that I feel like maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I'm inclined to look into. I'm pretty sure it is only region locked because Germany, of course, requires some extra paperwork from developers to be available on Steam. I'm pretty sure the developers just don't know or are like too lazy to fill that out. So what I did was visit the Steam discussion board, which is available to me and like put a thread up with the info about that and hoping the developer sees it. So that's my
Makes sense.
first step. Yeah. But if that doesn't work, yeah, I might see if I can find it elsewhere. Yeah. Leah, what about locations for you?
Yeah, I'm kind of in between the two of you because obviously I'm from New York, so a lot of games tend to be set in New York, but a lot
Yeah.
of games are also very terribly wrong about the setup of
Yeah,
New
yeah,
York.
Yeah.
And also, my section of New York never tends to be in a video game unless it's baseball, because then you have Yankee
yeah.
Stadium in the baseball.
Yo, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's very interesting to be like pretty much almost every game gets sections of Manhattan wrong, sections of Brooklyn wrong, and just even when I watch movies, we'll be like, "That's this section of Manhattan," and now they turn the corner and now they're somewhere else, and it's like, okay, well,
Right,
sure.
yeah.
Right.
The funniest thing is, even though it's a parody of New York, uh, Grand Theft Auto 4 has probably the most realistic depiction of all of the boroughs. Like, it doesn't even
Mm.
have all the boroughs. I think in that one there's like 3, and then they add Algonquin is Manhattan, Bohan is the Bronx, Dukes and Broker are Queens and Brooklyn, and then Alderney is like half Staten Island, half New Jersey, which isn't even
Ah.
part of New York. So, um,
Could have fooled
It's
me.
an honorary part of New York.
yeah,
There
it
you
Sorry to
is.
go.
all New Jerseyans.
A lot of places are set in New York, but like I will constantly pick up a game and be like, I want to see if this area is. I even did it in Forspoken because like there was this, you start off and she's in New York and she gets sucked into she gets isekai'd into it with the Holland Tunnel, and I was like, oh cool, let me like
Right.
run down the
Yeah.
block and see if they put this deli on the corner, and then it's not there. This block doesn't
Yeah.
exist in real life, and I was like, oh okay, never mind.
Immersion broken.
Oh, in real quick about restaurants and stuff. In Fernbus Simulator, they put, instead of my building, they put a restaurant called Fat Reich, and I was very surprised about that. Just wanted to mention that real quick. It's not a real thing, by the way, just to be clear. It's just in the game.
I was That's what I'm also kind of curious to see in Pigeon A Love Story, the New York map, which I can't get to in the demo because I want to see just exactly
Oh
what
yeah.
part of New York is in that map. So yeah, there's also like a lot of like rat simulators and pigeon simulators that are set in New York, and it's just kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, we'll see what version of New York this is. So
How
You
about
know,
that? I remember you played Max Payne. Was that accurate with New
no.
York? Oh, well, never mind
That
then.
was another Max Payne, and I will say also Indigo Prophecy was another one that was like, I
Oh.
was like, "Oh, this is gonna be set in New York," and then it's not. Um, I will
actually, you
say,
know
I
what?
think,
Here's a question.
yeah.
Yeah.
What is the least accurate New York you've seen?
I think there's a lot of like city bus simulators on Steam that are just like set somehow now, but also in like 90s New York, because somebody watched Home Alone 2 and was just like, this is New York. I'm gonna make my game based on this. So it's a lot of like Italian cab drivers for some reason, and like pedestrians and stuff like
Right.
that, with like the very strong Brooklyn accent for some reason in the middle of Manhattan. Um, yeah, and a lot of them will just be like, Manhattan is skyscraper, so every block is the same skyscraper because that's all the assets that they had access to or whatever. And it's like, no, clearly this is where Central Park would begin. This would be a roundabout over here, and that sort of thing.
Right. That
Uh,
does sound quite inaccurate.
yeah. But I feel like I still think that GTA 4 probably is like the most realistic, even though it's not meant to be New York
Right.
City whatsoever. Like, I'll drive around and I'll understand what boroughs and what neighborhoods I'm in based on real life locations. So that they did their work on that one, which makes me wonder because I've been to Los Angeles, but I don't know Los Angeles that well because it was only 3 days that I was there. But I've seen it obviously in tons of movies and stuff. So like the parts of Los Angeles that I recognize or like the pier, the beach, the Sunset Strip sort of thing. So I'm curious to know if that's accurate in Los Santos versions of GTA as much as Liberty City is connected to New York.
Right. Man, they should make a GTA in Europe. That would be fun.
Well, there
I mean,
was
that actually would be fun.
I
Yeah.
think GTA 2 was set in London, I think.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that doesn't count. The UK doesn't count. But yeah, that
Wow,
makes sense.
okay,
Yeah.
I see how it is.
America famously agrees with you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I think the UK agrees with that by this point. Anyway,
I do want to say that
yeah.
one thing Leah brought up that did make me think is I have actually driven past what was it called? Allegiant Stadium, the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium. Technically, I haven't played any of the new Madden games, but that's I've played Madden, and I have one or two of the new ones from Free Things. So like, there's
Yeah.
something I would recognize.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's if you want to see a European place in a video game, you gotta go with the public transport simulators. It seems like that's like the main way to do it. And then to see the US, you just play crime simulators. Much to think about.
So much easier to
again,
travel over there. So much easier to do crime here. So
I guess so.
that's not what it boils down to.
I guess that's what we're learning from video games. Yeah.
I mean, hey, you don't have to do crime simulators. You can also go to Hooters.
True. True. And that is not a crime. Not yet, anyway. Until the woke agenda takes us from us. I'm joking, of course. If that
No,
wasn't
I
clear.
know that. I just wasn't expecting it. Sometimes
Yeah,
something just catches you off guard,
it's the heat. It's not making me think straight.
Oh,
He's feeling gay.
another one also for me
Yeah.
is The Last of Us is the first one is set in Boston, and I've been to Boston a few times, so I was able to be like, hey, I know that I feel like they actually did their job also in maybe not specifically the cities because obviously it's apocalyptic and there's cars and
Right.
trash in the way. But a lot of stuff that I was like, that's a building that really exists. That building I recognize from the last time I was there and stuff like that. So
That fucking
um
rules.
yeah, it's not exactly on the level of like Assassin's Creed, I'm sure, but although there
Right.
is an Assassin's Creed in Boston also, so maybe if I paid more attention, I'd be able to figure that out.
Yeah, I was thinking about games that have locations that I've visited. Like I've been in a couple countries traveling or whatever in my eons on this planet. But I've never. I don't think I've usually traveled to like the big places that would be put into video games. Like by over multiple degrees, I have seen, I guess, like a location from a Harry Potter game by being at the courtyard location in the UK where they filmed that shit, which of course must have been modeled in the Harry Potter games back in the day. But that's like not very exciting. I and then there's the shit like the games that I would see my country in, if it's not public transport simulators anyway, would be, I guess, the Wolfenstein games, for example, which New Order was set mainly in Berlin, a futuristic Berlin. But that's as close as I've been getting so far with my gaming. I'm sure there is more contemporary Berlin simulators out there, but those haven't crossed my path yet. So that's what I'm dealing with now. I'm wondering though if this is something some of you have done in the past. Games like Gary's Modern Counter-Strike have huge like map creation communities, especially in the past. And I remember as a youngling downloading all sorts of like real like grocery stores or whatever as maps for like Counter-Strike just to run around in to explore. And there some of those lost whimsies and wonders of playing video games as a child was definitely poking around in the places of like fucking Aldi where you're not supposed to be as a customer, and that's something I think back on with much merriment and joy, as one would say. Is this anything that some of you have done, or is this not just me?
I think the closest that I've gotten to that is in The Sims. I've just
Right.
recreated buildings before that like I've lived in
Yeah.
or like, you know, like a grocery store that I really liked and I was like, I missed this place. I'm gonna recreate it from my memory or whatever. Even like walking around Manhattan sometimes I'd be like, that apartment looks really cool. I wonder what it looks like inside. And I would like look on like
Yeah.
apartments.com to see like what it looked like. And they'd be like, I'm gonna recreate it. And now my Sims live in it, even though I'll never be able to afford it myself. Like, yeah, that
Yeah, I
sort of
love
thing.
the sort of subculture of video games. It's so cool how with again Gmod and Counter-Strike maps, how many real world locations have been genuinely like memorialized in a digital way through those games. It's a fascinating like concept. And I remember as well trying myself out in like Counter-Strike map creation and building, I don't know, my family house at the time or whatever, or like um I think we never did it, but I do vividly remember friends from school and I planning out recreating our school in Counter Strike. But of course, we were scared off by the news in the past and by the parents and by the
Oh yeah.
the big scare about it. That, and I'm still pissed about that, how we were discouraged from doing that sort of thing, when looking back now it would have been so fucking cool to have like a digital recreation
Yeah.
memorialized from that location. Like that is what that stupid scare about video games back in the day took from us. It's a big gripe I have.
Making maps for stuff is one of the things I think that makes real world locations more accessible to people because people are just be able to like, oh hey, look at this place that nobody cares about but me. Now I'm going to
Yeah,
share it with the
yeah.
world.
So cool.
There's also when I was looking up the DLC for one of the train sims, like the amount of people that are like, put my line in the game, make a line, and then there's like
Yeah, yeah.
worked up versions of like other things and they're like, this isn't an official mod, but I made it myself, and it's just like it's so cool to see people being like, notice my section of the world here. I'm going to do it
Yeah.
myself.
And it's also going to be through their point of view. It's almost like a painting or whatever, where it's not like necessarily a depiction of the reality, but how
Right.
they interpret and see it, which is also cool in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that shit. It's so much
I
for, I
mean,
guess, custom made stuff. Yeah.
I never did anything like that, so I don't really actually have much to say. I don't think I was ever particularly interested either. I don't
That's
know.
fair. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You made your move
Um,
sets, we made your Counter-Strike maps and Sims houses. That's how we roll.
so true. I mean, I
Yeah.
think part of it is that like I never really played anything like Gary's Mod or
Yeah,
Counter Strike or anything like that to begin with when I was the age where I would be doing that.
yeah. But you did play racing games, and they have track editors. I remember building like as a kid.
Oh, that actually reminds me.
Oh yeah, there we
Technically,
go.
not on this topic, but all the NASCAR
Oh,
games, Las Vegas is a track there, and I
hell yeah.
believe I actually watched a non-NASCAR race at, I believe, the same racetrack as the NASCAR race when I
That
was like
rules.
11. I don't
I
remember
mean,
if it's
that's
the same
cool. Yeah.
racetrack. I think it was like a Busch Series race or something, or whatever they call it now. But it was the Busch Series when I grew up, so.
But it is also interesting. Not that I've ever been to a real racetrack, but it is fascinating how many of the famous racetracks have transcended time and space by being put into all of these different racing games. And it would be
It's
cool to
true.
have witnessed one of them in real life sometime and then playing whatever racing game that happens to have that track and being like, dude, I've been there. And
Yeah.
that's kind of dope. Yeah. I remember a thing with racing games that I did in track editors. I remember a couple times just building like the roads from my house to my friend's house as a racetrack in a racing game, like that sort of thing. Even that kind of tickled my fancy back in the day. I don't even know why. But I guess it really is just the appeal of seeing your real life surroundings in a video
Yeah.
game. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, like I've built like bodegas and delis in The Sims also, where it's just like
yeah.
when they think of a grocery store, they're not thinking of like, a New York bodega deli on the corner store or whatever. They're just thinking, like a Wegmans or Aldi or whatever. So I was like, no, I'm gonna make the
Oh,
grocery
yeah.
store the way I know it looks like for my Sims to be at. So
I love these shoutouts to Aldi.
they would always come with like pre-built like museums and gyms and everything, and I was like, no, this is gonna be my gym. This is gonna be I'm just gonna build them the way that I know, so that way just to see my version of those places and not this like sim wannabe thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, since Audi came up and then Matt responded, everything I've known about Audi is just YouTube commercials, and they have like this one ad campaign. They're like, "It's different, but you'll love it," and like, I could not tell you what makes it different. What even
It's cheap.
is Audi?
What is
I
the
have
American equivalent again? What is it? Trader Joe's. Do you have a Trader Joe's around? That's basically Aldi.
I have a Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's is fancy though.
It's literally Aldi
Wait, why are
though.
they advertising to me if it's
It's
not?
like the same
Oh,
company.
okay.
Aldi is cheaper here. Trader Joe's is like the suburban white person's grocery store here, where it's just like, "Ooh, I'm gonna go get like my Kashi granola or whatever."
It's
But Aldi's
interesting.
is like the most generic brand names, like for
It's
like $4
funny. Yeah.
less than you would get at the actual grocery store brand name or
We
whatever.
have Trader Joe's products
Alright.
at our Aldi's. But again, those are from the same
That's
people.
crazy.
Yeah,
I've
it is
also
actually
never
funny
That's
to
how
thought
hear
of
that.
that's how the
Trader
brand started
Joe's as like the suburban white either. I've always thought of it as like the rural white guy's place. Maybe, maybe because like my grandmother's former husband used to shop there, and that's like what he kind of did in
Yeah.
terms of zone.
It
I
was
guess
always
they're
we didn't have a Trader Joe's. I don't think we even have a Trader Joe's in the Bronx. I think they're just like above the Bronx and in Manhattan, and that's it. They just avoid all the black and brown areas. So like
oh
that's why
boy,
my brain is just yeah.
that sucks.
Okay, question: has there ever been a Trader Joe's in a video game?
Yeah, I would have to refer to custom Counter-Strike maps again. I could not imagine that being in another video game.
I'm sure there's parodies of it somewhere.
Parodies, sure. Yeah, I could see that for sure.
I
And
could
I mean,
see
definitely
it
there's
being.
McDonald's in Silent Hill.
I could also see like Trader Joe's name being in like a NASCAR game or something.
Oh yeah. That's probably true.
yeah. Somebody's definitely done a Trader Joe's in the Sims.
Yeah, I mean, another question that might be interesting, if anybody has an answer for that. Has there ever been a location, like in a real life location in a video game, that only after seeing it in that game you wanted to visit? Where a game made you want to touch grass, basically?
I don't know. I gotta
I mean,
think about that. I mean, like the generic weeb answer, of course, is playing like a play. Look, man.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Sometimes you see a Japanese location, whether it's Akihabara or somewhere else, and you're like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
yeah.
this looks cool, pretty, would go."
yeah.
I don't really
Sure.
know that I have. I don't really know that I have anything special to say. There is the problem, but
Yeah.
I think for me, I always wanted to go to Scotland. I've always had like this weird fascination with Scotland.
Scotland rules. Yeah.
So I've always wanted to go. Probably will never will at this point.
Damn.
So, I have been like constantly looking for like a game that's either set in or has like the aesthetics of like some Scotland area so I can like walk around in the game and be like, okay, now I've seen Scotland. Which is hilarious because I have just been talking about how like no aspect of New York has been like
Right.
realized perfectly in games, and yet here I am like I have to find the game about Scotland so that way I can feel what it's like in Scotland.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you won't know. So treat
yeah.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to go to Seattle in general and San Francisco also, but like
Hell
those
yeah.
depictions in Last of Us 2 and GTA also make it sound a lot more fun to hang out there. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, also Las Vegas, I did want to, would love to go to Las Vegas at some point also. So, like any game that's set there, I'm always just like walking around and being like, wow, look at the strip. This is so nice and pretty.
My recommendation: don't come right now.
Yeah, fair.
That was literally that I remember that was the plan initially for me is that I was gonna go like in November or something where it wouldn't be hot as hell.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
San Francisco is kind of funny though. I have a thing with that place too. But I think mine is more stupid a bit. When I was a child, one of my very first video games was the original Driver, and one of the
Oh,
starting areas in that was San Francisco, and that was epic and cool because it had all of these slopes and hills to do epic stunts in. It was nice, and I think legitimately that experience as a child kind of like engraved San Francisco as a cool place in my mind. And I do
yeah.
remember when I was a young adult or whatever, I was thinking for a while about studying abroad in the US, and I was specifically looking for San Francisco. Obviously, nothing of that happened, nothing came out of that, but
Yeah.
in my mind, it always feels like kind of connected to that goddamn Driver game that probably helped, plug that spark in some way, which is funny to me.
That is amusing.
And of course, the later sequel that is literally called Driver San Francisco is one of the greatest games of all time. So there must be something to that place.
Honestly, part of what this is making me consider is I don't think I've played a ton of games with a ton of real life locations.
Yeah. Honestly,
I
me
think
neither, I don't think.
I feel like a lot
Oh,
of
I
times
will.
when a game uses like a real life location when I play it, it's technically like off brand real life location, and even then I'm not
Right.
sure how many I've played have really done that, which I realize makes these questions trickier than maybe I was thinking even.
Yeah.
I will say, I think when I played GTA 3, one of the more groundbreaking things for me was that they had an elevated train system
Ooh.
that you could actually use, and you could get on the train and get off at and like the fact that the trains worked was groundbreaking, but the fact that it actually just ran on a little track and then like you can be like get on here, two stops later get off, and you don't have to like steal a car to drive over there. I was just like, I love this. And the fact that you can like do taxis and like, run around and like it's not even the location itself. It was just like the vehicles that I was like, "Oh my God, you don't have to
Right,
be in a
right.
car all the time. This is beautiful. I don't have to run everywhere."
Yeah, we
Um,
love public commute. It's epic.
yeah. For some reason, I was just like, "This has never happened in a game before, ever. I love this."
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I get
so
the appeal,
yeah.
of course.
Also similarly in Alan Wake 2, there's a lot of uh New York subway parts, which is clearly not realistic as it's, the dark place and he's
Right.
hallucinating half the
Yeah.
things or whatever. But just like the aesthetic and the vibe of the subway just being like really damp and like dirty and everything. I was like, that's the closest I have seen a game get to the New York subway system. And I was like, I feel like I'm on the subway system here, just like walking around in the tunnels. So I think that was probably that was also very interesting because like a lot of that game had to do with finding your way and stuff like that, so there was a lot of like running down a tunnel and then being like, oh no, this track is broken or this train is in the way or whatever, and then having
Right.
to like find another way around it or whatever. So that was pretty cool.
You know
um
what's peak like subway station design in video games? When they dare to use real pictures as like wall textures and that sort of thing. That is a hallmark of a great game, in my opinion. Just like
That's
the
pretty
true
fair.
candid like graffiti and stickers on the walls and whatever. That's so
yeah,
cool. I love that shit.
I'd agree
I
I
with
think
like
that's
that.
when
dying out.
I
Yeah.
like looking I love looking at like advertisements in games. I don't know
Yeah.
why. Like look at like the advertisements. I'll read like the little signage, like do not enter this, and then I will
Yep.
read
Yep.
everything in a like
Same.
environment just to be like, oh, what is happening in this game's world that I need to know about, and they just maybe put for like whatever the hell, but I was like, I'm gonna read it because you put it here, so which I
Yeah,
do
I'm the
in
same
real
way.
life anyway. Like I read everything that I can see, and I'll
Fair,
make a
yeah.
cereal box while I'm eating cereal and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
So yeah, so that's just like something I do in real life anyway. So I was like, I'm also gonna do it in this game. You give me signage to read, I'm going to read it. I also especially like when it's based in New York and they do have like the multiple languages on the signs because that feels very New York to me. Here's English, here's Spanish, here's Italian, Hindi, maybe Chinese, you know. This isn't just going to be like one language population that's reading this sign, so
Yeah,
it
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
makes it a little bit more like lived in.
Maybe a bit of a different thing, but I was wondering, not about locations that we have personally visited or any connection to, but like in general, more in general, video games that just use real life locations in some sort of interesting way. Maybe that's something to talk about as well. Because I mean, I have two games that I would like to give a shout out in that sense. Which one being 911 Simulator, which I think we've mentioned that a while ago. You probably mentioned that a while
Oh
ago on the
yeah.
podcast. And that one is still has one of my favorite features in any video game still, where I mean, this is a dispatch simulator where you send out, you answer all these 911 calls and then send out, I don't know, ambulance and police and whatever. But the cool feature is that they have is that you can choose if you wanted to use, I don't know, whatever location in the world, like your neighborhood or whatever, which they pull from some sort of maps service and then make use of in the game, which is such a cool thing to do. And seems like such a simple idea that elevates the game in such a cool individual way. I love that sort of thing. And the other game that I was thinking of while thinking about the subject is a game called Real World Racing, which was a top-down racing game, which is not the greatest, of course. But this one had a good reason for that because it was using like Google Maps satellite images of real locations to use as racetracks. So every racetrack in this game was on real world streets, and that was such a cool concept. I always was hoping for that to become a whole series and like, I don't know, DLC packs for different countries and whatnot. But I think they like kind of died out. I'm not even sure if that game is still
Yeah,
available
that would be cool.
these days. But somebody needs to make something like that again, please. I would be so interested. So, do you have any cool real life locations used in games, like in some other way other than personal connections?
Hmm. I feel like that answer is almost certainly yes, and I've just got to remember it, you know?
While you're doing that, yeah, it does seem like real world racing is legit delisted, which sucks. But I could also imagine something like that has some
Yeah,
difficult rights issues attached to the satellite pictures and whatnot.
yeah, probably.
Damn, I can't believe they delisted real life itself.
Imagine that, yeah.
Yeah, I do have to get back to that 911
Yes,
simulator,
me too.
actually.
So good.
Yeah, we need more games like that where you can like customize the map of some sort in a way that makes it more personal to you.
But I also wouldn't like really be able to think of other game concepts that could make use of it like that. I mean, okay, we got racing games, we got dispatch simulator, but what else could you do with something like that?
I mean, I wouldn't
Get
say it was a major part of it necessarily. Expedition 33 did have Paris and stuff as ending up being kind of a representation of the person who made the scenarios like real life thoughts and kind of to an extent. Now, I'm
right,
explaining that
yeah.
very poorly. Like that's a very
I think I
Muckener
get it.
aspect, but that was kind of neat. I don't think like Red Dead Redemption 2 used real location.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you can tell certain parts of the map are based on certain cities. Like obviously the one that's like New Orleans and stuff like that. One that's like very close to like Virginia. I guess you would have to be like a historian to be like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
these plains were exactly what it was before it became a city or whatever. But also, I would say the crew
Yeah.
and the crew 2 actual real life locations. And I never actually got around to getting to New York City to see what that looked like, but I did land. I had the only thing I had in that game was the plane, so I was just like flying all over and just like landing at different
The
places.
only thing you had
Oh,
was a
actually,
plane. Hmm.
yeah, because like the first race you do is in the plane, and I was like, no, fuck the race. I'm gonna go fly around the U.S. instead. So I just went around and did that instead of doing the race that they had told me to do.
Hmm.
Um, but there was also oh, Pilot Wings. Pilot Wings is another one where you can fly around all the US, and, like, that was another one where I was like, "I have to
Pilot
see the Statue of
wings,
Liberty,"
really?
and, like, flew straight Pilot Wings 64 technically,
You're
but,
telling me a Nintendo
like
64 game has out of the US? Nah. Nah. Come on.
so it was like I remember you could see Mount Rushmore, and
Okay.
you can see, uh, Lady Liberty, so I remember being like, "I have to keep going east until I get to New York and see what they have there," and I wanna say they had the Twin Towers at that time, but
Hell yeah.
maybe some other maybe it was, like, the Empire State Building that was in
Right.
there. But it was just like, yeah, these 5 things, and then you can go to, like, Cape Canaveral, and you can see, like, the shuttle taking off also, so that was cool.
Wow. That's not
Um,
what I expected from Pilot Wings 64. I guess I don't
yeah, it
know
was a
shit about that game.
very strange, game, but it was very open world, so I was like, "I'm just gonna fly around with my jetpack and
Yeah.
my thing to find out what I could possibly find." Exploration of the United States via games.
Yeah, the crew was unfortunate in multiple ways, obviously, but I also remember being back then hyped for it and thinking the concept was very cool of the entire United States squashed into a open world game. But also
Yeah.
open world games are kind of not that interesting to me, so it's kind of like a weird push and pull on that front. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only really good just to drive around and not actually do the game part
Right.
of it. Just like, "Give me this map, thank you very much. I will use it how I see fit."
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think we're good on the subject, unless anybody else has something they wanna mention.
Like I said, I feel like I may have answers for this, but I just can't remember them right now. And again, I don't think I have a ton of games where I did, so like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just generically shout out the fact that Assassin's Creed does do a lot of really strong modeling with real life locations. Like, I do want to just
I
like
heard, yeah.
when Notre Dame, I think it was, it like partially burned down. They actually used
Right.
Assassin's Creed's like models
Oh
of it, helping the
yeah.
recreation of it. So like, I think
Yeah.
I think I
that's
heard of that.
one pretty cool. Two, an example of how like the level of detail and meticulousness that does exist in modern games, for what it's worth, does allow pretty crazy stuff like that. Because
Yeah.
using that to help rebuild it is wild.
Yeah. But it is true that you can denounce it as a video game or whatever, but it is still, like I said before, a digital memento of a real place, and therefore it's basically a photograph, a 3D photograph of a place, which is cool.
Yeah.
Okay, Leah posted a video of Pilot Wing 64 in the chat, and the thumbnail is Mario on Mount Rushmore, and I didn't know I could hate that mountain more than I already did. But here
Yeah,
we
that
are.
actually sounds baller to me.
Yeah,
Look at it.
I'm
Look
sorry
at
if
it.
I offended anybody.
I do like the fact they didn't change it to any other like
Yeah.
Mario characters. They just kind of threw him in there.
That was the Easter egg of it. If you shoot at Mario, he becomes Wario.
Oh! Okay, no, that makes it better, actually.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
that
back.
actually is even sicker. I mean, Wario
I'm
would become
back, yeah.
president, sadly.
And with that,
That actually does remind me. Mario Party 3 also had Mount Rushmore, and like when you won with the characters, they would be
uh,
put onto it.
Oh, that's crazy.
good lord. Good lord. Well,
I was gonna say if there was ever like a location in a video game that made you actively want to not go there. Like, this place just sucks ass.
Holy shit, Alter. Wow, I turned German there for a little bit.
You're not Norway?
Not in public.
Are you in public?
You keep your German private.
Wow, that is a great fucking question. I didn't even think
Yeah,
about
because
that.
surely there's gotta be something where you're just like, damn, this sucks ass.
I mean, the obvious and boring answer would be like your average war game, Call of Duty or whatever. I wouldn't really genuinely
True.
want to be in Wolfenstein's Berlin.
True.
So there's that.
Yeah, I feel most games set in space or on a spaceship probably
I don't know.
are not having great chances.
That's true.
I could chill in a spaceship.
I know my mom
Uh,
watched the movie Gravity, and she's like, I no longer ever want to go into space.
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah, space does not entice me in any shape or way.
Space is cool, it's just also really scary.
I think if I had a choice of where to die, space would still be very high up on the list.
I think the closest is maybe San Andreas when there's like when they take you out to the countryside, which I'm not even sure what like Californian countryside is like, but like the way that they
Can't be
set up
good.
the towns, because the towns are like it's just supposed to be like where you stop for food or like it's not even like a lot of them don't have like safe houses, but if you drive around the little area that it is, it's like boxes a lot and like nobody lives there, and I'm just like, if this was a real town and there was like 5 houses or whatever, what else do you do? There's nothing to do here. Like this might be like my New York mind where like everything is here all the time, so I'm like, oh yeah, obviously like there's a lot of things to do. In small towns, I'm like, I don't know what you guys do out there. It seems so sad. And like people say this all the time about small towns where like there's nothing to do here. And looking at it in San Andreas, I'm like, this would be so lonely to be all the way out here and like have to drive to the next town to do anything else. Like I'm so used to just like getting on a bus, getting on
Yeah.
a train, and like you can get to like most places. So it's like I understand that that's why like half of the US is built the way that it is, because
Yeah.
everybody just uses the car to get places. To me, I'm like, this is not sustainable. How do y'all deal with this? Like, it's literally that one meme of like, you live like this?
I
Why?
was just thinking of that meme as we were talking.
It's like, damn, y'all live like this?
And
Why?
at the same time, the US was revolutionized by the train during the time of
Yeah.
industrialization. So it's kind of funny that wasn't built up further afterwards. But also, I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. So who the fuck knows what the reason was? Did
I
we
will
answer your
say-
question?
There's a lot of contributions when
I
it
never
comes to
said
US.
anything, so I'm just gonna say real quick.
Yeah.
Probably one things I'll say, I'm pretty sure like every single game set in Victorian era London is like, damn, I'm glad I
Fuck
didn't live in
that.
Victorian era London. Like, fuck that
Yeah,
noise.
that would be rough. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, if we're talking that, then yeah, like maybe a Plague Tale Requiem and a Plague Tale Innocence. Like, don't want to live then where there's like hurricanes of rats around.
Honestly, it kind of sounds sick. I would take that.
Well, they were.
Oh, right. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, they truly were. But yeah, I think that answered the question. I was just curious if there was anything.
Right. With that, let us move on into the Untitled collection game and get out of here after that. I am hosting in honor of Diallo, who blasted us all away in the last episode in this game. So I shall pull a random collection from the How Long to Beat community using the search engine on the site and present title, game amount, and creator name to my co-hosts, who then have to guess games from the list, ring around the rosy style. When they failed 3 times, they are out, and the most points at the end win and host the game next time. So the collection for today's game is titled Played on RPCS Free by the user Annie with 14 games. So this is emulation. I think this is PS3 emulation.
Yeah, that's PS3 emulation. I don't know how many specifically PS3 games I know. What about you, Leah?
Yeah, that's not my.
So who pulls the veto? Oh, you said you're vetoing, Roy?
And I was saying, Leah, like, what do you think?
Yeah, this is not my area. Yeah, I'll veto
Okay.
it.
Alright.
It's a bummer because this has at least 2 Hatsune Miku games, so
No,
sad.
Hatsune.
Yeah. I hope you are ashamed, both of you. All right. The second collection we're pulling today. The second collection we're pulling today is titled Life Advanced by user Super Smash Fan 99. There are 50 titles on this list.
Life Advanced.
Life Advanced.
So there's the scary thing about this is that there's two options. It's just a bunch of Game Boy Advance games. Because that's what the Advance means. Or it's gonna be like a bunch of farm simulators I can't name.
Oh, like job simulators, maybe? Okay.
Yeah, or something like that. Which,
Interesting.
like, 100% is an advantage to Leah, not me.
Hmm.
50 games. I don't know that there's. I guess there were some Game Boy Advance games. I don't know if I can name 50.
I think so
But
too.
definitely
Yeah.
There were
50
some Game Boy Advance games.
simulator
That's
games.
so true. You know what? I'm kind of just curious what this list is, so let's just do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, Leah. No, right. Roy has the first guess.
Wario Land 4.
Let me check if the goated Wario Land 4 is on this list. It better be, honestly. Any good list needs to have that. Yup, Wario Land 4 is confirmed on
Okay,
this list.
so it's Game Boy Advance games. I'm in the bag then.
Is it
Legend of Zelda Minish Cap.
That's GBA.
Legend
yeah.
of Zelda Minish Cap, but is it on here?
No, I was thinking of something else. But I know that was.
Oh,
so-
yeah.
Well, Minish Cap is confirmed on here. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Metroid
Okay.
Fusion.
Metroid Fusion is also
What are Game Boy
on
games?
here. I have a feeling this is gonna be a big clean out for everybody.
Poor
involved,
Matt, he's already
except
in
me.
last place. And now.
And I could have done well at this too. This is a collection I could have done well at.
Yeah, it's
Fuck.
actually a Nintendo collection you would know about.
Yeah. The rare one.
I'm like going through every cover of Game Boy game ever. I don't know what the fucking full title of that is.
What is the game? I can maybe help you out. I don't know.
It's the Mario versus Donkey Kong.
I think it's just, I think the first one
let-
is just Mario versus Donkey Kong. If it's
It
not,
might
it's
it
like,
might be, yeah.
and if it's
I'm
not, I think
looking.
it's like Mario versus Donkey Kong Minis on the Move or something.
I know the second for the DS or something.
Yep. So Leah is correct. It is just Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and it is on the list. Yes.
That's it. That's all the games.
Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Advance 3. I believe that was the Super Mario Advance one.
That's fucking what a pull, dog. I might have bad news for you.
I mean, I'm not surprised if it's not on here, but I had to shoot the shot.
Hold on. Nope. We do not have
Alright.
Yoshi's Island Super Mario Advance 3
Ah,
or whatever
well.
the fuck.
Such is life.
Life Advanced even.
That's true.
Was that GBA or was that GBA or was that Game Boy Color?
Maybe it was the N-Gage.
Could be the N-Gage. True.
You never know.
Life Advanced.
It's a good title.
like some games that I know were on GBA, but I don't know that they would be on this list because they might be too niche.
Hmm.
And that's the other problem. Because I feel like most of the games that I played that were on GBA were like random ass bargain bin stuff.
Interesting.
And they weren't like hot off the shelf titles. I want to say Street Fighter, but I don't know which Street Fighter it was. So I'm just gonna say Street Fighter 2. Probably there was like a remake or something. I don't know.
Street Fighter 2 on GBA. Let's see. It's definitely not on the list, and I'm not even sure if that really exists, to be quite honest.
I'm not sure it is. I think that might be Street Fighter 2 if it is one on there.
Yeah, it was probably like Turbo or something.
I'm gonna go with a game which may or may not have different names listed, so I'm just gonna say both. It'll be either Fire Emblem in America or Fire Emblem the Blazing Blade, specifically if you use the Japanese name.
Okay, you nerd. We do have Fire Emblem on here.
Yeah, alright.
I don't know, Hannah Montana.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it really ran out fast.
Bargain bin games. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
No matter what I type in, it just shows me every game. I'm not sure if it's blocked right now, but let me do Control F. Nope, we do not have the Hannah Montana epic game on here. I'm sorry.
Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
We go with the plumbers again. Let's see if we got them.
Plumbers, they're, very Nintendo.
Yeah, we do indeed have Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Alright.
Very nice.
Why are you happy for him, Leah?
You gotta be happy for the successes in life.
No, yeah, but not yours necessarily.
Your knowledge is faster than mine is.
I think it's because I just played so much of the GBA when I was a teen.
Yeah, that's the thing. I skipped that one. I just went to advanced, so to SP.
Right.
That's the same platform. What do you mean?
That is the same platform.
I didn't pay attention to any games that came out. I just got the bargain bin ones.
Oh, okay.
I skipped over what was actually good.
That's fair.
Britney's Dance Beat.
I love this. Let's check if Britney's Dance Beat is on this list.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is not. And that is your third strike.
That's my third strike.
How about Golden Sun?
Let's check for that stinky ass, hot ass Golden Sun. It is indeed on here.
Fire Emblem the
So
Sacred
keep going.
Stones.
Oh my gosh. Fire Emblem Sacred Stones is on here as well.
In that case, Golden Sun the Lost Age might be on there.
Another Golden Sun. This time they lost their age. And it is indeed on here as well. Yeah, Roy is gonna be cleaning out the shit.
Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. I'm not really sure that one will be on there, but it's one of the first ones I remember.
Yeah, I think that's a solid guess. It is on here. Yep, of course.
It is on there. Alright. Pokemon Leaf Green or Fire Red. I don't know how long the beat does it.
They definitely share the same page.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Is it not on there?
It's not on here.
Wow, alright.
That's surprising.
So this isn't a Pokemon guy, so I shouldn't go for Pokemon Emerald.
Yeah, you have one strike left.
Oh, Mega Man Zero! Those were cool games.
Mega Man Zero is indeed on this list.
So now the question is, are the sequels on here? I mean, that's as good a guess as anything I could do, so Mega Man Zero 2?
That's how they number that? Mega Man Zero 2 is not on the list, and that is your third strike, homie.
Alright, well, so, I can't exactly complain.
Yeah, you only got a zillion points, so...
Yeah.
1, 2...
It was either going to be that or Battle Network.
You got 9 points plus the bonus of whatever the fuck. What was it? Was it 3?
I think it's 3, but I'll double check. 3.
Yes. So you got 12 extra points 44. Total. Yeah, for that, and Leah got 2 extra points for a total of 28.
Well,
Which puts Roy on first place, of course, followed by Leah, and me, Matt, is on the last row. Christ almighty dog. Well, that was the Untitled Collection game. We learned about a lot of Game Boy Advance games that Roy has played. And with that, it is time for us to leave you, dear listeners, at I don't know, talk among yourselves, listeners. I don't know. Thank you for listening, everybody. Please let us know about your favorite real life locations in video games, or ones that you have witnessed yourself in your own flesh and blood. That would be interesting. And truly, if you have any recommendations or shout outs to games that use real life locations in interesting ways, definitely share them around as well. I would be very interested to hear those
so would I.
things. We wish you all good luck in the remaining summer heat. We have made it so
Yeah.
far, and we will go beyond. But that is it for us for now. We will retreat into our gamer caves, and goodbye.
Evil Carl Hype later.
Bye.